brought in to disinfect the general area. Now, let me make a comment on these incidences of improvised explosive device attacks. I have, following the spate of increase, I requested the Commissioner of Police of Borno State and that of Adamawa State, as well as the State Director, Department of State Service, Borno State, that they need to heighten their operations to ensure that all cases of suicide bomb attacks and IED will be brought to a close. They are doing quite well. They have heightened their operations, and of course with intent to locate where these suicide bombers have been sent, where they have been sent from, and possibly the laboratories where the suicide bomb vests which they usually put on, where they are assembled. So these are things just to let you know that there are some form of collaboration that is ongoing, and I think that in due course you'll be informed. Now, again, within the period, we have conducted clearance patrols. Own troops conducted some clearance patrols in suspected Boko Haram terrorist enclaves. On the 15th, at about 11:15 hours, own troops conducted a robust clearance patrol in the general area of Kangarwa, Metele, Dogunchiku. Again, I've told you that at the fringes of Lake Chad, we have we are doing a lot of cleanup to ensure that into the Lake Chad waters, we're able to provide the environment that will enhance the operation of the maritime components that are about beginning their operations in the few days from now. So this operation that I've just talked about, this clearance operation, is geared towards that. So during that operation, of course, we killed one of the Boko Haram terrorists, and we also got one elderly man who, of course, confessed that he is the Amir of the Boko Haram in the entire Tumbu. The Tumbus are some isolated islands on the Lake Chad. And of course, because of the gunshot wound that was inflicted on him, he died afterwards. So, of course, one of our soldiers, as well as our vehicle, was destroyed by the RPG-7 bomb which the Boko Haram terrorists fired. And then, of course, the soldier was also wounded. The soldier is already recovering from our hospital. On the 18th of December, at about 08:30 hours, own troops conducted clearance operation to Massa village, which is in Bulumbagana, towards Bulumbagana. After that, of course, we also entered Bulumbagana, and as well as Ari Jinkuri, Zangeri villages. And in that operation, the troops rescued 67 female adults, 23 male children, and 19 female children that were held hostage at Massa village. The following day, which was on the 19th, at about 06:45 hours, our advance to Bulumbagana saw the troops having contact with the Boko Haram terrorists, who, on sighting us, they were also running, but also at the same time engaging us. We killed 15 of them, and then, of course, some weapons were also recovered. Then the motorcycles that they were using, 18 of them, as well as 25 bicycles, were destroyed in situ. Troops also discovered 4 solar panels, as well as spare barrels, spare tires, which the Boko Haram terrorists were using. But unfortunately, in that operation, we lost a soldier, and one other was wounded. Both the killed and the wounded were airlifted from the area back to Maiduguri for treatment, and the other one is awaiting burial. Now, rescue of fishermen. Some of you may have heard this. On the 18th of December 2016, at about 10:10 hours, own troops and gunboats received a distress call. We have a gunboat company that dominates the Alu Dam waters. So they received a distress call that some of the fishermen have been kidnapped by the Boko Haram terrorists. And of course, immediately they swung to action, and 15 of the fishermen were rescued. But one of the fishermen one of them was killed, and we're told that one was taken away by the Boko Haram terrorists on the arrival of our troops. Now, of course, you can see from the screen those that we rescued. Interception of suspected rustle cows, ram, and sheep. On the 16th of December, at about 16:05 hours, own troops deployed at FOB Dikwa in conjunction with Vigilante intercepted 57 rams and sheep at a Boko Haram terrorist suspected crossing point along Dikwa-Ajiri Road. The animals, which were suspected to have been rustled, were intercepted without owners, and they are currently under our custody, which, of course, eventually we handed them over to the appropriate government agency for further action. Now, release of detainees to Borno State government. Again, within the period, we, there were some detainees that were cleared that we handed over to the Borno State government. A total of 299 of them were handed over. Now, next is also handover of IDPs. This time around, we received a total of 116 men, 147 women, and 248 children of Nigerian nationality that were handed over to our troops in Banki by the Cameroonian forces. They were screened and moved to IDP camp. However, among those who claimed to be IDPs, 8 of them were identified to be Boko Haram terrorists, and of course we have taken them into detention. Besides that, of course, 15 of them, who are confirmed Boko Haram terrorists, were handed over to our troops, and the suspects, of course, are in our custody. Now, suspected Boko Haram escapees. On the 16th, at about 13:05 hours, following a tip-off from the locals, own troops, in conjunction with members of Vigilante, apprehended 2 suspected Boko Haram terrorist female escapees from Azare general area. The women revealed that they came out from Sambisa forest, and currently they are undergoing interrogation. Now, discovery of ammunition. Just this morning, about 600 rounds of 7.62 NATO ammunition were discovered, and they were hidden in a plastic container. You can see on the screen. It was they put those we suspect to be Boko Haram terrorists. Put these rounds into that plastic container and hid it, in the stream around the Gwangi area of Borno. Of course, that tells you that the heat is on, and I believe that we're going to discover more of that. I want to believe that it was when they were leaving the city that they may have done that, hoping that if we do not discover, maybe at some later stage, one criminal could go back and pick it up for other untoward uses. Now, similarly, let me say that during this period, that is 14th to 21st, just to speak for 1 week, a total of 1,880 civilians were rescued from the Boko Haram terrorist enclave. Similarly, between the same period, a total of 564 Boko Haram terrorist members were arrested, while 19 others surrendered to our troops. Also, 7 suspected kidnappers and 37 foreigners were equally arrested. Of national security must be placed in the right context and must be properly situated before people go to the social media to begin to show what ought not to. And I think this brings me to the next point, which of course, it's very disturbing. Thank God this video of yesterday has gone to also heighten what I'm about to say. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to observe the unfortunate development within a section of the media who have, knowingly or unknowingly, chosen the negative paths to incite the troops and denigrate the good efforts of Operation Lafiya Dole. Specifically, Premium Times have repeatedly shown a pattern of reports disparaging the very noble and gallant efforts of the troops. The paper has consistently worked in futility to cause disaffection among troops of Operation Lafiya Dole. During the setback in Gashaga, which I earlier informed the public, Premium Times worked to promote the evil action of Boko Haram terrorists by its publication. Every